Oh, hello friend, thanks for joining me for another video blog. First video blog of this new year. It's a new year and yet we're carrying a lot of things from 2020. The pandemic, it's clear, businesses are still closed, and we are still dealing with a lot of uncertainty, and we're always dealing with uncertainty, right? But we know even though it's a new year, a lot of things are quite the same. But one thing can start changing, regardless what's going on outside, regardless what the events are, what's going on with our government, what's going on with the health system, what's going on with this virus, politics, climate, it doesn't matter. My question is, how is this year going to be different for you, right? Because the game here is we always have a choice to make the changes in our life that we want. So today I want to talk about two particular mental models that have existed for many years. This goes back to your grandparents, your grandparents, your parents, and it's a model that it's up to us here in this generation, you and maybe your kids too. You teach this to your kids, but it's up to us to start changing the model, right? Because what happens is when we all born, we inherit all our ancestors' beliefs and systems. So even though we are in 2021 now, we still living in an outdated model. Let me share what I mean here with you. The outdated model, I'm going to talk about the two S's here. So the two models that you, me, and others must change. We interrupt the pattern. You know how you want to change your own behavior, your own pattern? You need to come up with certain tools, certain strategies. Well, these models here will require collective strategies. That means you, me, and a bunch of other people. So the first model I want to share here with you that is old and we need to change is this belief. Think of model just a belief, right? You have a model of living for yourself, a model in your business, a model in your health, a model in your house. So just think of a model, how we see the world, right? So model, you can see, you can translate that as a belief. So one of the models that we must change is this model that people believe, a lot of people believe that life should be a struggle. Life should be a struggle. And the second S here is that we are always striving to simply survive. And this is start with Darwin, right? When Darwin says the fittest, the one that survives is the fittest, right? So it began there. And that was a great model for a lot of plants, a lot of animals, but in this model, especially in this modern world that we live in right now, where we have access to food. My audience at least, has access to food, shelter. Most of us, most here in the audience, you have access to all the conveniences of the modern world. So we're not really living in survival. However, when we constantly living in fear, worry, anxiety, you're constantly wondering what's going to happen tomorrow. That means you're always in alert. Your stress response is on. And in that mode, you are living in survival. So to simple, like even I have to correct one of my clients today. I asked, what do you want? And she said, I want to survive. I'm like, you want to more than survive. You want to thrive and flourish. So we have this program in us that has been passed from DNA to DNA, from generation to generation, that just doing enough to survive, it's good. Well, it was true many generations ago when just having a job and food on the table was enough. Today we live in a different world. We all have that and we want more, and it's okay to want more, as we must also appreciate what we have, right? But a lot of people with just this belief that you gotta make enough to survive, when you have this model, this belief, you're pretty much just going to make enough money to survive. You're just going to grow enough in your life to survive. So basically you it's a thermostat in you, in your mind, in your body, that is going to, you reach a point that you don't grow anymore because you have programmed yourself to believe that just surviving, it's okay. Let me tell you why just surviving is not okay. If you're in your zone of survival, that means you're barely making. That means you're dealing with a lot of things like fatigue, low energy, irritation, anxiety, anger, sadness, maybe depression, right? So let me show you something here that I made for all my clients. You can see this little PDF here, this chart that I make. When you're in the zone of survival, you're experiencing all these negative emotions. You also experience a lot of fear, a lot of negativity. You're not solution oriented. And you see this red arrow here that says, success happens across the line. And I call this zone of genius, but you can also call the zone where you're thriving, right? It's where you have energy, enthusiasm, you're solution oriented, you're creative, you're positive. You just in a place that you're thriving, and even better, you flourish. Thrive is when you are in charge, you're aware, you're managing your energy very well, your emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual energy. And from this place, you're able to help a lot of people as well to thrive. And when your actions, when just your state of being, it starts to affect others in a positive way, you can say you are living in a place that flourishing is happening, right? So we need to end this belief that we just need to survive, because we're able to do so much more. And also when you're in a zone of survival, you don't have enough resources in your body to fight viruses and bacteria and all, diseases that are out there. So we're not even just talking about this COVID-19, we're talking about, all other viruses and bacteria that are everywhere. So in zone of survival, you just have enough energy in your body to take care of your most important functions, to keep your heart beating, to keep your brain barely functioning, because also in a zone of survival, you lose the ability to use your cortex, your front lobes, your executive area in your brain. So literally when we're in survival, which also means we are in a state of stress, we can say that we become less intelligent. And this is neuroscience. This is not my opinion. We become less intelligent because in times of stress, there's a safe mechanism that happens in the brain to save our lives. So that means with our ability to think, to evaluate situations diminishes. So actually we become less intelligent as in survival. So the other model that we need to change is this belief that life is a struggle. I work with people that literally tell me, well, I'm always struggling because I believe life is a struggle. Again, this is not a model that you created yourself. It's a model that you inherit from your parents, from your grandparents. This is a collective model, and we must change. So the belief that life's a struggle comes in the form of for example, scarcity. This belief that there's not enough money to go around. This belief that if I win, somebody else loses, or if somebody wins, I lose. No, we are moving into a new era here that we are understanding more and more the need to go back to foundations, to the way, not to the way that things were, but back in the days, before the modern world, people lived more in community. They lived more in contribution, in cooperation. And we need to go back to that. So we need to help each other more. So we need to get out of this model that life is a struggle and start moving towards thriving, so we can have more resources, not just to thrive ourselves, but help others to thrive as well. So we create a better system, a new model, which is a model where we all can thrive and flourish. So how do we do that? How do we go from these mental models and we move into thriving and flourishing? Well, number one, it starts from you and with you. So my first question here for you is, and be honest with yourself, are you thriving? And again, what thriving means? Thriving basically means you physically energized, you mentally focused, clear, you emotionally engaged, connected, and spiritually aligned with your purpose, aligned with your vision, aligned with your values. So are you there? And if you're not, you cannot go and try to help the world without creating this state for yourself first. And that's why I'm here inviting you to work with me for 12 weeks on my Fit to Thrive program. I did this program last year. I created out of the pandemic because I wanted to find a way to help more people. I wanted to make affordable, I wanted to make accessible, and I wanted to make easy access for people. And I wanted people to have access to me directly, in live sessions with me without making a tremendous investment. So I created Fit to Thrive program. It was a success last year, and I'm launching right now, and I will only do this program twice a year. So you either start now with me, end of January, or you have to wait until August. And I'll say, why wait? So Fit to Thrive works, is a holistic model. So you get to work your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual energies, those 4 bodies. For example, lesson number 1, you learn how to let go your limiting beliefs. So if we're going to change from this model, from struggling and surviving to thrive and flourish, number 1, we need to address your individual limiting beliefs. So if there is any belief that is connected to struggle, survival, we need to make sure that belief is gone. And those limiting beliefs are not in your conscious mind. They are installed in your body. It's a conditioning that you and I, we all as children got the conditioning from our parents, from our caretakers. We have this thing called mirror neurons. So we learn by modeling our caretakers. And then on top of that, we get hurt. We go through difficult times where people say things, or our caretakers, people that we love, say things about us that create a hurt. And that hurt, the emotional charge, can also create a limiting belief or a limiting decision. So that would be lesson 1, for example. I'm just going to give you like an overview here. I'm not going to go through every lesson. If you have questions, you can contact me directly. But lesson 1, we go right to the root of a lot of our issues. Letting go limiting beliefs. Lesson 5, we talk about nutrition. This is a course that I share with you my most important foundations for a holistic life. Lesson 5, I talk about nutrition, going back to the basics, to the foundation, not about being a vegetarian, a vegan, paleo diets, or ketogenic diet, or whatever. It's about getting to know your body and getting to know the foods that work for you. So that's lesson 5. What about stress? I just said in order to move from this struggle and survival, which is basically a state of stress, you need to understand your stress. So lesson 7, I teach you what the good stress is, what the bad stress is, and how do you know if you're stressed out or not? How do you know if you have stress in your body and your mind keeps telling you that you're cool, you're fine, and your body is constantly telling that you're in a lot of stress? How do you know? So lesson 7, you learn about stress, and you learn how to embrace stress and how to transform that stress into energy that will help you to thrive. Lesson 9, we talk about habits. We cannot do a course on thriving without teaching you. I cannot do that course without teaching you how to change habits, because we know if we have a habit of thinking and feeling, I'm not even talking about eating or other habits, I'm talking about hard habits, like or habits of thinking the same thing every single day, or habit of feeling the same feelings every day. And also we're going to talk about how to change your habits, with exercise, with eating, how you connect with other people. So I'm going to teach you, based on science, how to make habits change easy for you. Lesson 10, because we're going to talk about spirituality here. Spirituality has nothing to do with religion, has nothing even to do if you believe in a higher power or not. On the spirituality, I'm going to teach you how to be a spiritual warrior, which means how do you get to your truth? How do you connect with your heart? because that's where we find the certainty. That's how we find, that's where we find who we are. And when we know who we are here, we don't shake with all the uncertainty and the unknown that is going on, especially right now in the world. The people that suffer, that have tremendous anxiety when things are uncertain like now, are the people who don't truly know themselves. And hey, I'm not just saying them or you. I was the person too. I thought I knew myself very well. And last year, there's still hidden parts of myself that I knew, but I wasn't ready to really look at. So we're all in this process of learning. And what I'm teaching Fit to Thrive is the foundations of really getting to know yourself. How are you gonna get to know yourself by not even understanding your own emotions? We do a lesson on emotional fitness. How are you gonna get to know yourself if you don't know how to self-regulate your emotions, how to understand your own stress, and how to have certain strategies to remove stress from your body so you don't get sick? You're gonna learn how to turn off the stress response in your brain. So you get 12 lessons every week delivered to your inbox, and you watch anytime you want. Those lessons are anywhere from 50 minutes to sometimes an hour and a half. So you're going to get more than 15 hours of lessons that I recorded myself. And on top of that, we meet every Wednesday for 12 weeks for 90 minutes. So actually, because I create a very safe and a sacred group where we keep everything confidential, you get to be coached by me. And by me coaching you, helping you, we're actually helping everybody in the group. It was a tremendous success last year, and that's why I'm doing this program again. And this is my signature program. So if you're ready to get to know yourself, to learn how to create more certainty in your life, learn how to eat right, this is basically all the foundations of personal growth, health, and well-being. And there's even a lesson in spiritual development here. So again, I compact all my best teachings in 12 weeks. You're gonna get over 20 hours with me for a fraction of the price. You're gonna pay less than you pay for 90 minutes session with me. So check the link below. It will take you to the page of Fit to Thrive, and sign up by January 7, where you get $100 off. Okay, so instead of paying $597, you pay only $497. This program is worth $2,500. I sum all the hours I put in this program, and this program should not be sold for less than $2,500. And why I'm selling for only $597, $497 even, because I want to help more people, because I want more people to become part of this community, and I don't want money to be an issue. I don't want money to be a problem, because we're only going to change this planet by working together. So that's why I'm making this program very affordable, and that's the only way we're going to break away from these models of struggling and survival and moving to thrive and flourish. I need you to make these changes with me. We need each other. So join my program today. Sign up, send me any questions, and give me the honor to be your guide in this journey called life. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you very soon.